Welcome to Starseed Gathering Podcast. This podcast is hosted by Annabelle Ivaya, intuitive mentor and healer. This platform welcomes all of the light workers, healers, and coaches from all around the globe to share their story, their awakening, their path, and their mission here on earth today. You will meet a beautiful soul today that wants to share their light with you. Allow the story that you will hear and all of the information to land within you like a breeze of love. I welcome you into this sacred space. Enjoy this podcast. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Starseed Gathering. I'm super excited to have you here with us. We are going to speak with a revisiting beautiful soul that I had last year, probably in November 2023, I believe. We did our first communication here, our first exchange, and it was a beautiful talk. We spoke about so many different things, and our work together actually with this beautiful soul has been very potent. We've collaborated on things and there's beautiful things coming up for us. And I re-invited her to come because she's one of the most beautiful healer that have connected me to dragons, and she holds this beautiful connections with them. We have many lifetimes together. There's so many things I could say, but Sam Meredith is with us. She's a beautiful healer. She's going to tell us all about herself. Welcome, beautiful.
Hi Annabelle. Oh, it's so lovely to be back. Wow, what a year it's been since last year. It feels like a lot more than a year. It feels like about 10 years because it's been an amazing 12 months. And it's awesome to be able to connect today and talk a lot more about dragons specifically. And interestingly, it's almost a year exactly since my dragon guide stepped forward to me and said, "You are going to be an advocate for the dragons." And I was like, okay.
What does that actually mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, okay. And this year has been really amazing, reconnecting with my expanded dragon team, working much more consciously with Kalakari, my dragon guardian, and all the work I've done with them, and feeling more and more called to share dragon energy with others. And if you're listening to this podcast, I can pretty much guarantee you've worked with dragons before. You're feeling the call of dragon energy, and I would say, if you're feeling that call, to go for it, to reconnect with your dragons, because your life won't ever be the same again once you've reconnected with them. They have the most amazing, singular, beautiful, divine presence. It's such an ancient wisdom, such a deep, unconditional love for us. And they carry themselves with such dignity and humility. I just like talking about them. I feel myself welling up because I feel so privileged to work with them, to be able to work with them again, and to be reconnected with them in this lifetime. After all the lifetimes I've worked with them and actually had to stand alongside them in battles, as I know you have too, Annabelle. So to be able to reconnect with them at this time and to feel them coming out of hibernation, to feel them helping all of us to reconnect to a much more expanded sense of love for ourselves, to reconnect us to Gaia and a sense of oneness. To be a part of that feels like a privilege. So if I can share dragon energy with all of you today and reconnect you with that and the joy it is to work with dragons, then that would be awesome.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, they have such a beautiful energy, and I think they come in different ways to many people. I know for myself, the first times that I was hearing about dragons. Well, when I was young, I was always collecting those little miniature little dragons everywhere. I would go in a different town and I would go and come and get them, and
Oh,
I didn't even know why I was doing that.
oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
And I've got the dragon you sent me as well. Hold on. This
Oh,
dragon supports every single session now. Sat next to me on my
oh,
desk.
oh, yeah. And we have to share about this story.
Yeah.
So I'm so I was in so now I'm back in Mexico. Like you probably can see by my background that I'm not in the same place. Um, and I went to this shop where, I wanted to buy something for Sam. Sam is in the UK and I was in Quebec. So I was like, well, I mean, I don't know how long this is gonna take to send something. And then I went to the store and this specific dragon that she just showed is like looking at me and it was like, stop looking at all of those stones and look at me. I am the one. And I was like, oh, it looks like a baby dragon. Like he's like really cute and he has this eye. Anyway, just beautiful, beautiful. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, yes, that feels so right. And I was like, how long is that gonna take to actually get through the ocean, right? On the other side of the ocean. And like when I was talking to the guy, I was like at the post office, he was like explaining me all of the option, and I kept hearing in my head, don't worry, Annabelle. You don't have to pay big fees for us to bring the dragon to Sam because she's gonna get it really fast. And I was like, okay, well, okay, you're in charge then. So I'm gonna send it. I didn't even have a tracker number or anything. I was just sent it and I trusted that it was gonna come very fast. And what happened, Sam?
I think it turned up 2 days later. And I sent you a message. You were like, no way has it arrived already. It was carried on dragon wings, right?
Like even in my own country, it doesn't take 2 days to like get there. I was like, how is that even possible? Oh, no worries. It's like that's the magic of dragons. Yeah. So it's just one little example, but as I was saying, it's like this energy can come in so many different ways. I know for me, it's my dragon is a beautiful white dragon, and he's come at the most needed time for me. I mean, he probably was there since forever. I don't think he never left my side, but he showed me his presence at that time, and I was like, and he's huge, and I was like, oh my God, who are you? And I was so much in need of protection, in need of feeling it was going to be okay because it was a part of my life where I felt, although I was starting this business, I felt like everything was falling apart around me and within me again, those multiples awakening we have. And it was just so powerful to have his presence. And he kept sending me messages, and I was, channeling all of the things he wanted to share with me. I was not sharing it with the world. I think it's something I do more now after being, more connecting to you, beautiful soul. But it's really very, very unique the way that they present themselves and when they present themselves. Can you speak to what it was for you, beautiful? And that
Yeah, I'm just listening to what you're saying, and I totally agree with you. They are like no other light beings that I work with. The way they present themselves is very, very different. They tend to present themselves gradually, and very often you would first become aware of dragons being near you when you're going through a very difficult or challenging time. That's quite often the case because dragons, like no other beings that I know, our masters are walking with us through the shadows, through the times where we feel the most challenged, through the times of extreme transformation, at times where we feel threatened, where we're feared for our safety. And I was listening to you talking, and I'm thinking the times that I felt most aware of dragons in my life, the first time when I was coming out of a very abusive relationship, probably at the lowest point in my life, just before I consciously started my spiritual journey, I was doing glass painting. It was something I was doing as an escape from everything else that was going on around me when I felt in a very dark place. And I'll have to find it. I haven't got it in here. I have to find it for you. I've got a picture of a glass painted dragon that I painted at that time when I was struggling. And isn't it interesting that it was dragons that came through for me at that time where I felt at my darkest, and I could feel their energy, and it helped give me the resilience to get through that really, really dark time. I could feel their energy then. But for me, really, I've always felt this presence for a very long time around me. Specifically, I'd say particularly the last 10 years, I felt this presence, this strong, ancient, massive, like bigger than your house, massive presence. And I know Annabelle's connected to my dragon guy, so she knows how big he is.
Yeah.
I feel this presence. I could feel the energy, this strong, strong energy. But this energy felt like it was asleep, in a deep, deep sleep around me. And I really first became aware of him around 10 years ago when I was going through, again, some challenging stuff. I felt like my family were being threatened, and I could feel this energy around me. And I could feel literally this tail coiled around me and these wings around me. And I felt this sense of strength and security and protection. And I was like, wow, what is that? And I would get these little flashes of this dragon. I'd get flashes of scales. Now, Kalakari, who is my dragon guardian, he is black, all black, but his scales have this like pearlescent, shimmering rainbow. It's very hard to describe this beautiful, shimmering, translucent, it's almost like mother of pearl or something that shimmers on his black scales. And he has like gold all the way along his spine and like a crest on his head. And I'd get flashes of this shimmering luminescence every so often on his scales, and I'd see an eye. And if I felt really stressed or overwhelmed, this eye would open, and it'd be like, I'd see like smoke come out of his nostrils, and it would almost be like, do I have to do something? Do I have to wake up and do something about this? And he'd be there, and it would give me this feeling of, I can get through this. I'm strong enough. It would remind me that I was strong enough to deal with whatever was happening. So that would be my experience with dragons, or with my dragon guardian in particular, for a long time. And I've worked with subtle energy in different ways, channeling light language, Reiki, various energy healing modalities, energy artwork, meditation for about 17 years now. And I've been aware, as I say, of the dragons, and I've worked with lots of other light beings. I work with Gaia, I work with all sorts of elementals. But it was summer 2023, my dragon Kalakari, who is usually very quiet, not like my other light beings and my guides and my guardians, they're always like, oh, do this, do this, do this. And you feel their energy buzzing around like butterflies and bees kind of in your energy field all the time. Kalakari was just always there in the background, strong, present, but very quiet. And last summer, he said to me, I have a private community group. And he said, you need to bring through Dragon Wildfire light language. He just piped up one day and I was like, oh, okay. And when dragons talk, you listen, because they have this presence. It's so hard to describe. It's just they're there. They are in your energy field. And he was like, you're going to bring through Dragon Wildfire light language. And I was like, well, what's that? And he said, it doesn't matter. He said, you'll know. He said, you'll know when the time is right. And you're going to have to trust in us and in the moment. But this is powerful. And people are starting to wake up to dragon energy. And I was like, okay. And this was about 6 months before everyone really started talking about dragons again. Because this year, 2024, I've noticed there's been lots of people, lots of spiritual mentors and healers, and in all sorts of ways, actually. And very much like with films and things like that, I've noticed as well, dragons have really come to the fore this year. But this was about 6 months before all that happened. So anyway, I brought through this beautiful Dragon Wildfire light language, and it was amazing. It was an amazing session. It was powerful. It brought lots of stuff up to the surface, lots of shadows and lots of memories for me, particularly about lifetimes I'd worked with the dragons. And I didn't think too much more about it after that. I carried on doing my work. And then this time last year, I was doing something really mundane, as you do, like brushing my teeth or something, or doing the laundry or something like that. And I felt my dragon guardian, Kalakari, come in again, like really powerfully. And it stopped me in my tracks. And he said, "You are going to be an advocate for the dragons." And I was like, okay, okay, right. Okay. And then ever since then, my dragon team have flooded in. They've brought back memories of lifetimes I've worked with them. They've shared different types of light language for me to bring through in healing sessions. They've guided me to set up dragon heart healing sessions. I did a workshop earlier on this year, all around reconnecting people with their dragons, reconnecting people to the energy and the memories of working with dragons, because dragons are coming out of hibernation. Dragons are waking up, and we as souls are waking up to our connection with dragons, our ability to work with them, our ability to use dragon healing in our work. Whether you work as a healer or not, you can bring it into your life. It helps to protect, it helps to support your healing process, it helps to clear blocks, it helps to bring inspiration. It's an amazing energy to work with. Now, the thing about working so consciously and closely with dragons this year, from my understanding of all the new insights, I say new insights, I would say they're forgotten, it's forgotten wisdom that's coming back into my conscious mind. I realize now, in retrospect, I have been working with dragon healing energy right since the beginning of my spiritual journey. And I realize now that when I've been doing Reiki or whatever other hands on healing I've been doing, I've had dragon energy helping me at every step of the way. And the more I've been working with them, the more you begin to see them. You don't just see the eye or the scales or a bit of the tail. They come more and more into focus. And you'll have not just one dragon guardian, you'll have a whole team of dragons supporting you. And once you wake up to them, once you reconnect to their energy, it floods in. And honestly, it's like a tsunami. There's no stopping it. It's undeniable energy that just changes your life, frankly. And it's very emotional working with them. It's very moving working with them. And they certainly help you to reclaim lost parts of your soul. They help you to reclaim gifts. They help you to really dig into the sticky stuff that feels too difficult to do on your own. They're amazing for that. So that's pretty much been my journey with them so far. And every time I sort of start to stray away from dragons a little bit, I mean, I'm always working with them, but if I start focusing on something else, there'll be some experience in my life or some person or some situation which will bring me back to working with them every time. They're like, "Oh yeah, you still need to be doing stuff with us." I'm like, okay. And here I am doing a podcast about
Right, right. That's beautiful. I love what you're saying because it feels like a very beautiful support that maybe a lot of us, we all have layers and layers and layers of shadows to go
for
through
sure.
in this incarnation. So if we can actually invite people to meditate, to connect to this energy when they feel overwhelmed, because for us that have been doing shadow work for years, I mean, it's not that much easier. It's just that we know more what to do and we get, support and things like that. But for people that feel that it is still quite heavy and they're feeling like, your head above the water and then the water's coming down again, it's just like, well, maybe call upon the dragons and see what happens. I know we'll have a bit of a taste of a beautiful meditation with you later, which probably will help a lot of people that are watching this podcast to connect to their own dragons. But it's like, don't try to do it on your own. And I think that's a very good reminder. A lot of the times we see these beings as being so amazing, but they're a different level of our same consciousness. It's like we are all one and we're just, we're helping each other. We help them be more connected to us because they have this mission of ascension with us. They're not separate from ascension. They want us to succeed this process, and they know how hard it is for us to dig deep and go into the shadow and cry and see, what's happening in our families and with our friends, and everything crumbles so many times while we are ascending. It's good to remind ourselves that those beings are there to support us and hold our hands and make sure that we don't have to crumble ourselves. Our
Yeah,
heart is still pure, and they're going to hold space for us, and they're going to protect us. And they're showing me like the wings being like a shield, not a shield so that nothing happens to you. It's a shield so that your heart is protected, so that you remember that even if you go through, actually going through that specific shadow part of yourself, you'll find pieces of your heart you had forgotten, and
for
wisdom and
sure.
so many other things.
And courage, I think. That's been one of the a courage, a depth of bravery and strength to do this work. And I'm sure you agree with me. We're constantly called to go out of our comfort zone. We're constantly called to face our fears, to go into areas which our ego isn't comfortable with. And the dragons give us the courage to do it. The dragons give us the courage to stand confidently in our own light, to stand with authenticity and humility and strength, and to allow others to judge us. Because when you walk with dragons, you seriously don't worry about what other people think about you. You truly don't. Yeah, people think what they're going to think, but the thoughts and judgments of others just fall off you when you've got dragon wings around you. They truly do. So I think there's no other light beings like dragons to give you that sense of, I'm going to stand strong in my light, in my heart's truth, and I'm going to walk through this world shining my light from my heart with my dragon team behind me. And yeah, it's a very powerful energy. And the thing that I love about it is they're such amazingly powerful, strong beings, but they're so humble. They're so humble. And the message I got was it's very important for them to have that respect because they have so much strength, because they have so much power. Because of that, they have a respect for every being on this planet. I mean, there are many dragons that are Earth Guardians. There are more than just Earth Guardian dragons. There are galactic dragons, and there are many dragons from different realms. But there are dragons on this planet, lots of dragons on this planet that are working with Gaia as guardians for Gaia. And actually, it's very important to remember, as much as we can call on them to support us, which of course I 100% recommend. If you haven't done it, particularly if you're going through a tough time, call them in to help you. You'll be amazed at the feelings of strength and support they give you. But what they say to me is, it's important to remember we are co-creating. We are working with them. They need us to work with them as much as we need them to work with us. We're a team. It's not them doing all the work. It's them giving us the courage to shine our light, to shine from our hearts, to create the ripple effect that's going to help support the whole of humanity and Gaia in this ascension process that we're going through. And we're doing it together. That's something they remind me of. And actually, it was a very, very powerful message I had in the summer about, for those of us that do a lot of spiritual work and light work, to send love back to them, to take the time to send love back to the dragons, to send love back to Gaia, because it's very much appreciated. The dragons and Gaia are doing a lot of transmuting at the moment and a lot of healing. There's a lot of cleansing and purging going on. And actually, the more we can send love back to them, I tell you what, that is a very powerful thing to do. The connection you will build with your light team, with Gaia, the way you perceive the world around you when you send that love back, it's a very profound, transformative experience. I mean, I've always had a strong connection to Gaia, but since I've been doing that, it's like suddenly you see the world. It's like putting on a new pair of glasses or something, where you can suddenly see the world in wonderful ways you couldn't before. Like you start looking at leaves and flowers, and looking at all the fine patterns on the petals, and suddenly you're like looking at this flower and you feel so connected to it, and you feel connected to its life force, and you remember that you're all one. And that's my Piscean side coming out. But the dragons are very much about that as well, because they're so deeply connected to Gaia and her energy. So it's an amazing thing to do, to send that love back to them, and to remember that we're co-creating, and that we're not these victims. We're not these pathetic, weak, little souls who can't do anything for themselves. We're very powerful creator beings, and when we choose to co-create with incredible light beings like the dragons, amazing things happen. Truly, this year particularly is a testament to that, because things have happened very quickly this year. As we were talking about with that parcel, dragon energy makes things shift, makes things happen. So I would say, if you've got something in your life where you feel very stuck, where it feels very stuck and very blocked, and it has been for a while, call in some dragon energy to help, and see if that brings in some clarity, see if that shakes things up for you, because it's pretty powerful stuff.
I love this. And as you were sharing, about the love we can share with Gaia and the dragons, it reminded me of our meditation we started probably a couple months ago, where we meet every week and we don't have a link or anything. We just send love to the earth and know that anyone that needs love will receive it wherever they are on the planet, because that's what's needed of us too. It's not only, the one-on-one sessions that we have. It's not only, us individually, but the power of us connecting to each other energetically, just being in a meditative state with the same intention of peace and love around the globe, and how potent this is. And I remember, I believe it was in the last one, that I saw all of those earth dragons being like, yay, you've opened so much more energies for us to be able to like share and be spread around the globe. It's like if they were even more that were coming out and helping Gaia through her own ascension process, that we all know it isn't easy, because there's been so much dark things happening here. So anything we can do, and if giving our love back to this planet that's holding us and loving us since the beginning of time is, the minimal thing that we can do. So I love that you're reminding us of this co-creation, and this, it's a wave, right? I receive energy and we receive food from her, we receive the water, and then we give back our love and our gratitude, and we take the time to look at the trees and connect to the elementals and connect to everything and everyone around us. It does make a change.
it,
Yeah.
it's it really moved me, actually. I mean, like I said, I've already got a very strong connection with Gaia, but it really moved me, having had this experience of really consciously sharing love to Gaia. And it was literally the day after, where I went for a walk, and the feelings of love coming back to me from her, because I'd taken the time to send love. I was walking around, I just wanted to burst into tears all the time, because I could feel this gratitude, the gratitude coming to me. And I was like, wow, all I did was send some, I sent some love, and obviously I sent it with all my heart, but the gratitude I was getting back, it creates this beautiful cycle of flowing, loving energy. When you share this energy with her, she gives it back to you tenfold. And the feelings of gratitude were so moving and so powerful. I mean, and I did it totally unconditionally. I wasn't expecting anything back. So I felt so moved. I was thinking, wow, this feels amazing. It really, really deepened my connection further, and reminded me that we do have this symbiotic relationship. I think humanity as a whole, and I'm probably speaking more about first world countries, I guess, has become very disconnected from nature, from Gaia. I think Many people feel very separate from the earth, and I think that has to change. We forget that we are all connected and we are all one. And I feel like the dragon energy is really helping us to remember that too, to remember that connection. It's no coincidence that there are so many dragons sleeping on this earth that look like, rock formations. You probably see that quite a lot. There's lots of big rock formations. They look like a sleeping dragon. It's like, well, yeah, that almost certainly is a sleeping dragon, and they're there hibernating deep down in the earth, deeply connected to Gaia, and that's no coincidence. So yeah.
Definitely. I would love to hear the message that you were saying that your beautiful guide, your protector,
Yes. Yes.
Calamari. I mean,
Kalakari. He's
Calamari.
funny because he doesn't talk a lot. Like certain light beings, you can almost have like a whole conversation with them. And the other thing dragons say as well is, like, humans like names. We like names. We like our guides to give us names. We like our light beings to give us names. And maybe it's just my dragons, but my dragons are very direct. They're direct and to the point. They don't use a lot of words. It's usually feelings and telepathy. So when he does talk, I really pay attention, because I know it's really important, because he's communicating in a way with me that I'll really understand and that I can share with others. But he's quite funny because he's like, humans are all about names. The names aren't important. It's the energy, it's the feeling that's important. But he did give me a name. And he gave me this message. And this message he gave me when I was doing the workshop earlier this year. And this is a message really for anyone who is curious about dragons, who feels the call of dragon energy, who's listening to this podcast and something inside them is stirring. And you don't quite know what it is, but it's like that memory. It's like, when you're looking for a word, you're trying to remember a name and it's on the tip of your tongue. It's that feeling of that energy coming back. And it's something that you can't ignore. So this is a message, a channeled message he gave me. For anyone who's feeling this call of the dragons, he said, you are bringing dragons back into the light. And for this, we are so grateful. Many of you have worked with us before in other dimensions and on other planets. We inhabit other dimensions, and we did for so long, and you forgot us. You were limited by 3D density. Faded we became, stuff of legend, feared, demonized because of our ferocity. But our power and our strength makes us respectful of all life, of balance. An understanding we wish to return to humanity. Co-create with us. Be our physical presence on earth and remind the world of our love, loyalty, and our courageous hearts and strength as we serve the light in unity once more.
How moving. Very
Yeah,
beautiful.
because that's the thing. There are a lot of people, there are a lot of stories, you go back in history, of dragons being ferocious, terrifying, destructive beings. And so many people are afraid of that energy. But there's so much beauty, so much love, so much wisdom. And it's time to remember that, for sure.
I love that. And that's the part, as we enter the stage of Aquarius and come back together, we come back with them too, we are all a big, big family, even if we're multi-dimensional. And I think part of the mission of the light workers is to bring to light what is supportive instead of the narrative that can make us feel small and disconnected and powerless. we are bringing forward what we have experienced, anything that has supported us in our path, so that others can connect to this energy and then we can pass that on. It feels like, the ancient times where usually it was a motherly energy, like a female that had a lot of wisdom that was passing that on to the next generations. I'm not saying men were not doing that, but from what I know, I think it was a lot of the women that had a lot of the wisdoms to pass on. Um, and we're doing that again by reconnecting. We can go back to our inner peace, our inner wisdom, and connect these beings and this wisdom to other people. And that's how we make the ripple, and we help everybody doing the same thing. Nobody on this earth, that you're working or not, has it more easy. It's like,
No.
but it's a matter of having it with support, remembering that there are those type of things are there to support us, to protect us, and that anything that happens, even if our ego is not agreeing with that, is always for our highest good. We chose a lot of the challenges we're going through, and that we can actually become so much more wise and more calm after we have gone through many storms. And that's the whole part about all of this, I feel.
Yeah. And I think the dragons in particular are so good at helping us navigate those storms. And I think so what they're showing me is they're walking along this path with us, taking us back to our sovereign sense of self. That's really what they do. That's the power. And I feel like, that's probably one of the reasons why all these stories have been created about dragons being so terrible and we shouldn't connect with dragons, and they're so dangerous, and all this stuff, because actually when we do connect with dragons, they remind us of our own sense of sovereignty, our own sense of power, our own sense of worth, our own sense of validity. They reconnect us to our ability to be free. They free us of social programming, of disempowered feelings. They help us disconnect from those people, places, and experiences that are holding us back. That's very powerful energy. That helps us to stand strong in our authentic light. And that's what we really need if we're gonna move forwards and we're going to ascend. We've got to find the courage to do that, and we have to be brave. We have to take responsibility for ourselves, and they help us to do that, because it can be really scary. It can be really scary stepping out and taking responsibility for your actions. For many of us, it's quite easy to have a big authority figure to say, well, it's their fault. It can feel easy, but it's very disempowering. So I think the dragons really help us to reconnect with who we are, whatever that looks like, to find the courage to look at that, because we're all unique, we're all different, we're all made up of multiple lifetimes from multiple dimensions, multiple places and spaces, and they help us to find all of those pieces of ourselves, reconnect to them all, even the ones that maybe don't look so pretty. They help us to reconnect to all of it, and so that we can find wholeness within ourselves. And that's what helps us to reconnect to our sovereignty, I feel. And they have an amazing ability to help us do that. So I think, and there's one more little channeled message which was separate from the other one, which kind of feels like it talks to what we're talking about. So I'm going to share it with you now. It's just a paragraph. This was a message for people who are thinking of working with dragons. Stop and take the time to listen. Stop rushing, stop doing, stop trying so hard. When you listen, we can guide you. But first, you have to be prepared to let go of all that you think you know. Release the importance of the mind and move more deeply, more freely, more bravely into your heart, because that is the portal to all. This is the place of transformation through limitless love. This is the key to your ascension and your timeless power. Walk with us, and we will remind you.
Mm. Ah, their wisdom and their energy. You can feel the power behind the words. It's like very, very powerful, yet, yeah, they really have a different energy than other beings that we can connect to. And I think it's impressive when you actually allow yourself to welcome them and to see what's going to happen. And as they say, there's a lot of us, it's like, when you're in that part of your awakening, you're like, well, I want to see dragons, I want to see this, I want that, and you're just expecting everything and you're not patient because you want it now. And it's just like, well, okay, sit down. It's like even in my channeling course, people want to go very fast, but it's like, can you be a little bit more quiet during your day? Give your time space to receive the messages. If you're super busy all the time, it's gonna be very difficult, and you'll feel separated, and you're gonna be like thinking you don't have any guides, which nobody on this earth, by the way, do not have a guide.
Yeah, we have so many guides. I think that's been something that's been eye-opening for me, because when I first started doing this work, I was like, oh yeah, I have one guide. Oh my goodness, no. And with dragons as well, once you make that conscious choice, once you say, yeah, I want to work with dragons, I would say there's no turning back. Once you invite them in, there's no turning back. And I'm not saying that as a scary thing, because it's amazing, but they will push you they will really push you so that you can expand into the highest and best version of you. But they will push you to extremes. They'll push you to that proverbial cliff edge, and they'll push you off so that you can fly, and they won't take excuses. They're going to go there and you're going to go with them. If you've chosen to invite them in, you know, put your arms in the air and enjoy the roller coaster ride is my advice, because it is quite the journey. It's quite the ride. And yeah, it's not light and fluffy with dragons. It tends to be deep, intense, powerful, and strong. So get ready for the journey of a lifetime working with them. And once you invite one in, you'll get the whole team. And they keep coming. Like I've got about 5 that I know are with me, but then every so often they'll be like, oh, there's another one. There's another one. So I've got Kalakari, who's my main guardian. I've got Tuatha, who's a beautiful blue female dragon who works with my third eye and my throat. She brings me all sorts of interesting messages from other dimensions. I've got Tree Sprite, who's a little green dragon. He tends to sit on my shoulder, and he's a baby dragon, and he's just like feels like joyful, excitable energy, connects me to my inner child, and he's just like, I'm just so happy to be here. That's his energy, which is unusual for dragons, because usually they're quite kind of stoic and solid, and he feels almost fairy-like, his energy. I work with fairies too, and then I've got Balthazar, who's my dragon, who helps me with creativity, and he's red and he has like a rainbow crest on his back. So those are my main dragons I work with, but I know there's others around me because every so often I can feel them flitting around. And there's one other one, this is interesting, because Annabelle picked this dragon up in a session we had together very recently, and she's called Satara. And she is a massive, I think she's bigger than Kalakari, massive silver and gold earth dragon guardian. And I feel like she helps me with my connection to Gaia, but she's huge and full of love and deeply connected to the divine feminine and very nurturing, motherly energy. So, and I'm hoping she's going to come through in our meditation when I bring it through.
I'm sure she's there. I can see her just behind you.
Yeah, you can't really miss her. She's huge. She's huge. Her energy's huge. And it's just so full of love and creativity as well. I guess that's the connection to Gaia. It feels like there's a limitless potential with her and a limitless creativity. And when I see her, but I see like all these animals and plants and like butterflies, and like it's almost like they're coming out of her, but I think they're actually attracted to her. I'd see them all flying around her. She's just the most beautiful, beautiful dragon. But yeah, once you invite one in, don't be surprised if they come through thick and fast. is what I would say.
Right. And you know, you were talking about how deep the journey is with them. And I think even if for some people this deep journey of transformation is scary, you will achieve and go to places within you and do things in your life that you would never have thought that were possible. So
Mm.
so really allow this energy to make you fly in places, you know, in energetic imprints, whatever it is that you've never thought that you could hold or that you could actually touch or be in, because that's really about pushing the boundaries. Or what I'm showing, like, it's like there is no boundaries. Like you humans see all of the things very narrow and structured, let's say. And they're like, well, no, with us, you're gonna push the boundaries. You're gonna see that there is no beginning, no end, but you exist everywhere with us, and we will be supporting you so that you are doing. They're really mission driven. I feel like I'm gonna help you do why you're here. Like, you're supposed to be here for something, right? And yes, it's to be happy and joyful and everything else. But if there's anything else that was in your soul contract, they are gonna move mountains with you to get you there. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
And they're saying to me when you're talking, they say, yeah, have a dragon's eye perspective.
Mm,
Literally look
right.
through from a dragon's perspective, because a dragon's perspective, a human's perspective, like you say, is like this, oh, I can fit myself into this neat box. They're like, yeah, I'm not fitting in any box, and I can see their wings opening up, and they can see a long, long way, and they can see into multiple dimensions, and they have a deep understanding and a wisdom that goes back eons of time. And when you allow yourself to connect with your dragon and look and feel through this world from their perspective, it opens up what you'll be able to do. Like you were saying, it creates these amazing opportunities that you didn't even know were there, but you have to trust, like with a lot of spiritual work, you have to trust their energy to take you there. And the thing about change is scary, and then you've got your dragons to help you. But if you want things to change, if you want to shift onto your highest timelines, if you want to expand into the highest expression of yourself, you're going to have to be brave. You're going to have to allow the change to unfold, which might mean facing fears and having to do things in a different way that might be unsettling. But when you've got dragons helping you, just gives you that extra bit of confidence and courage that it's all going to work out for your highest and best good, even if it feels unsettling and challenging.
I'm excited for this meditation. Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you
Well,
feeling ready? You feeling ready for it?
yeah, I feel like there's an energy that wants to settle everything that we have talked about, like kind of rays of energies from them that they want to pour into us and just allow us to welcome more of these energies. And some of you might already work with dragons, so it's like I think you're going to receive exactly of what energies you need today to move forward with more grace. And if you have to welcome them in for the first time, it will happen. And if it's something else, it will happen too. So I feel it's very, yeah, it feels very, very beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, since we've been talking about her, I'm feeling Satara is there. And funnily enough, the little meditation that I picked to do is one which connects us to Gaia. Because Satara is so connected to Gaia, and we talk quite a bit about Gaia this evening. So it feels appropriate. It feels really appropriate. And it's just a beautiful meditation to give you an opportunity to feel into the dragon energy, to allow it to really open up your heart, your beingness, to remember how that dragon energy moves you, to stir up those memories, those insights that you already have in you. And this meditation and the light language that I'm going to bring through is just going to help you to reawaken to that energy, but also to help you feel that deeper connection to Gaia and the earth dragon guardians that are here, and your connection to them, and how we're all working together to co-create new earth and to ascend together. So I'm feeling, actually, considering the themes of what we've discussed, it actually feels really appropriate, and I can really feel her standing right behind me. Which it's quite humbling when you feel a dragon come in and they're standing there going, well, can you get on with it? It's like, okay, in the most loving way. There's never any, they're the most loving beings, but they're so direct. For me anyway, that's how they show up for me. They're very like, well, you're going to do this, and you're like, okay. And maybe that's because I need to be told in that way, but I generally find their energies, like I say, a lot of other light beings I work with, they're a lot more kind of gentle and fluffy and soft, and dragons are just like, well, you're going to do this, like it's a done deal. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that then. So yeah.
No overthinking with the dragons. They're like, no, it's that's where you're at. You're ready for it. Maybe if you think you're not, you are, and we're holding you there, and it's gonna be all fine. Like that's yeah, so many occasions we've had together these messages. Why are you even worrying about that? It's like, right, okay. Everything,
Yeah,
all of the doors for everything's gonna open up. So
let's share some light codes, some dragon light codes, some beautiful codes from Satara. I'm feeling they're going to come through. Beautiful gold and silver codes. So there's a little bit of an English visualization and some light language. So just close your eyes. Take some lovely deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just turning your focus inwards, moving into your internal energetic landscape, connecting with yourself, connecting with your body, the physical, emotional, and spiritual layers, turning the sound on the outer world down. And as you breathe slowly in and out, feel how the noise of the chaos, the to-do list, the stresses, the strains begin to fade and effortlessly fall away. Just take this moment just to be in your own energy, connecting with your own light, moving into your heart space. And as you shift your focus to your heart now, feel your heart chakra expanding. Feel the love within you growing. Feel yourself opening up. Feel your team of light surrounding you, supporting you, holding you in this beautiful singular moment in time. Till there's just you and this one moment, expanding, being held in love and light. Feel your energy traveling through all times, places, and spaces, all dimensions, opening up to infinite possibilities. And in this moment, I invite you to welcome in your dragon team. I invite you to open up to receiving dragon energy Feel it pouring in through your wide open heart, allowing your heart chakra to expand a little more, allowing you to feel a deeper sense of self-appreciation, self-worth, and self-love. And now immersed deep within the supportive ethereal folds of this illuminated moment, you feel an immense calming, reassuring, and loving presence come forward into your awareness. Standing tall and strong as the ancient oak trees, behind you is a shimmering gold and silver dragon called Satara. She is the divine dragon embodiment of harmony and balance, peace and integration. Her large clawed feet tread with incredible care and reverence on the ground. Roots of sparkling luminescence traveling down from her deep into Gaia. As you feel her vibration close to you, she stretches up to her full height and opens up her shining wings to their full expanse. Her effervescent wingtips brush the inky midnight blue of the night sky, and the stars shed their cosmic iridescent sparkle onto her ancient scales. You stand transfixed in wonder, breathing in her energy, allowing your beingness to absorb the gentle silver and gold rays of her soul-softening vibrations as they cascade over you. And I invite you now to open yourself up to receive her loving energy. So open up your heart, open your crown, and feel this beautiful shimmering luminescence pour into your beingness now. Muzanayata kasonor danaruto kurzanamor diamo arayato kusukurdianamu nurana makasatu kurdana yotoso aratu kuratata kasumuru danama usatayato nurata sana mortu kuzana mardiana no kurutana morotata chana marata kasakalat kajru dorana mardiana rosu kurtiamo rohayato kusukuru. Feel your third eye expand as your knowledge, your wisdom, your memories of working with dragons flood back into your consciousness. The truth about dragons. The golden, shining, shimmering energy. Lighting up your mind's eye. Illuminating the truth. The wisdom that's held within your cells, within your DNA, from all those lifetimes past where you worked with them, where you co-created with them. Reigniting that flame within you that burns to work with them once more. Gaia's guardians. You are called to work with her, to work with them, to remember your calling. Release your traumas from the past lifetimes of pain when your connection to dragons was severed. This This is a lifetime of joyful reconnection with them. Arayanama. Ora to Koreana Kokora, an inspiring, uplifting time of reconnection. Aratia da Karo Kura Marakiana Makaka Koreana Makakara Kura, reawakening your dragon heart. Arithi, Arithia Satoria, Uria, Urata Yanamo Kura. Open up. Open up and shine. Shine unapologetically from your heart. Shine unapologetically from your dragon heart. Uruaya sananya naruara tita kuruare muri muri uruaya sa yuraya naya kuriaruku muraya yatokurata sana muruara murra murra. Feel this energy flowing down through every chakra, through your solar plexus, your sacral, your foundations, traveling down your legs, rooting you into the crystalline heart of Gaia. Muruaizanaya kuruya tayana murasako. Zatara's ethereal rays of magical, rejuvenating light soak not only you, but also the ground around you. This phenomenal radiance saturates the ground, and as it does so, slowly you watch in wonder as tiny gold and silver winged beings begin to arise. Before you now, you see silver butterflies, golden earth dragonflies, and copper burnished fireflies that fill the air around you. Effortlessly, they ascend into the sky, Gaia's ultimate magical expression of empowered, harmonized, and balanced transformation. The energy is peaceful and uplifting and opens your heart up into a new space of joy and optimism. They form an otherworldly curtain of radiance around you. And slowly you turn in a circle, looking up and reaching skywards in wonder at their powerful display of light and beauty. You remember that you are one with them. You are one with Satara, the dragon, and you are one with Gaia herself within your own journey of transformation. Bathe in these peaceful, soothing codes of light as you allow your body to soften and integrate this experience. I'm going to bring through some light language now just to help you to integrate those powerful codes. So just breathe and allow these shimmering codes just to fall softly over you like a fine mist, saturating your skin, saturating every cell in your body. No disattasatio quesania taia tortiana mortia ariotiania ornia tosotori tanaio to kayatashana oisiania suisiana eorusanaya naioria musiatayar tio kuya oreno yaya naya nori naya osa. No yaya na yaya no rukai siana oroinaya naya nyoina kaseta yori no yare tiana yo nayari tayana muaya oroya ya kiora inaya namura. Breathe. Just allow that energy to saturate you, to move deeper, deeper into your skin, into your cells, deep into your DNA. Feel it traveling into every corner every aspect of you through every lifetime, every timeline. Feel it absorbed, integrated, shifting and lifting you. Feel it clearing away any blocks, any resistance to feeling the support and the love and the wisdom of your dragon team that want to help, support, and guide you. Just breathe and allow the energy, the keys, the codes, the frequencies to move you without needing to micromanage the process. Together we heal, we grow, we evolve, and know that in this process all will be well. All is as it should be. All is in divine alignment. Breathe and allow all that you have received, experienced, cleared, healed, and activated within you to be harmonized, integrated, and assimilated for your highest and best outcomes. Know that you are loved and you are supported by your light team, and most of all, in this moment, by your dragons. And take that knowledge with you as you slowly return to your physical body, to this lifetime, to this present moment, bringing back any newfound wisdom, insights, or energies back into this present moment to help support you and guide you moving forwards. So slowly come round.
What a beautiful time. Yeah, it's so calm within me right now. Wow, like peaceful, yet alive, if that makes sense. Like sharp, sharp. I feel sharp.
That
It's like,
sense of vitality,
yeah,
and that deep feeling of connection. It's a beautiful thing when we remember how connected we actually are. It brings a lot of peace. It brings
yeah,
huge amounts of peace and contentment.
definitely. Definitely, my whole spine, my head are buzzing. Receiving, anchoring the codes and everything. I'm sensing the dragons are very happy. Um, we'll see who is going to be watching and receiving, but I feel I'm seeing like there's lots of beautiful spread of light everywhere with this meditation. Even before we actually post it, just now the thread of light are just everywhere lighting up, awakening people to this energy. I love it.
Yeah, well, me too. It's a beautiful energy to work with. I feel very, very privileged to be able to share dragon energy. And yeah, I should say that if you've watched any of this and you have questions, or you feel inspired, or you want to share your experiences, and then please feel free to reach out to either of us, and we'll be very happy to help you and to talk to
Yeah.
you about your experiences. And the more we share, the more we communicate about this, I feel like what it does is, for those of us that have worked with dragons before, when we talk, we like reawaken more memories, and we reawaken more gifts, and more dragons come in, and it creates this beautiful like catalyst of reawakening all this dragon energy within us. So the more we talk and share our dragon experiences, the more powerful it becomes, the more powerful that energy becomes. So yeah.
Definitely. So please comment below this video if you want to share how this meditation was for you, or how this talk actually kind of landed for you, what you've learned, how you feel. Um, and if you want to work with Sam, we're gonna leave her all of her information below. She has a beautiful nurturing group on Facebook. She does a lot of beautiful services one-on-one in group too. So please just share for now, the services that you'd like to explain to people, and we'll put the links below for sure.
Okay. Well, probably the most relevant thing to share today is I do dragon heart healing sessions. I guess they're more than healing sessions, because in those sessions I can reconnect you to your dragon team. If there's anything particular you're working on, I can help you with that. I can help bring in dragons to support you. If there's any healing that you particularly need help with, that you're particularly blocked around, we can work with some dragon fire energy. So I think those are particularly relevant. And yeah, the other place is my community. So my Rainbow Weavers spiritual community page, which is a private page. It's totally free, and I share all sorts of bits and pieces on there. A lot of dragon stuff on there, but I also talk about elementals and Gaia and galactic sometimes, not as much as Annabelle, but they do come through for me as well. And it's just a beautiful community where I encourage everyone to share their experiences and we all learn together. So I think those are probably the most relevant things at the moment. But
Yeah.
yeah, please feel free just to reach out and have a chat with me. And if you like to work with dragons in any way, then I'll be really, really happy to support you with that.
Hey, thank you so much, Sam. It was a
Thank you.
beautiful pleasure, as usual, to connect with you. Thank you for your wisdom, your love, and everything that you could share through your beautiful channel with the dragons. And we will probably do another one and many other ones in the future anyway.
I'm
So
sure. I'm sure. Thank you. It's been really lovely to connect with you as always. It's always awesome to connect with you and to come on and share, and to hopefully, what I really hope is from this it inspires other people to connect with their dragons and to have the courage and the confidence to step forward and share their own experiences with dragons, and to have the curiosity to find out more about them. So if we've done that today, then that's a very good thing.
yeah, mission accomplished for today.
Yes, the dragons are
We must
happy.
continue on.
They
Yes.
are happy.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, everyone. You can reach out to Sam for anything, and we will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful end of your day, beautiful souls. Thanks, Sam, again.
Thank you.